Hello, I'm Karen Monaco, owner and creator of Sisterhood of the Wild Feminine, and today I'm going to do a kind of free-form reading to help the Divine Feminine, to help the star seeds and light workers of the Wild Feminine get an idea of how we can make the most out of the final weeks of 2019. I have seen so many of us have posts about what we're going to do, the way we're going to shake it up in 2020. And what I am finding is that we're not really looking at these last couple of weeks in a way that we can make the most out of them. We're almost kind of skipping out on the last couple of weeks in anticipation of new goals. It feels easier to just set these lofty goals for 2020 as opposed to staying present in 2019. But we still have multiple weeks left that we can really make an impact in, and we can really start to set ourselves up and bring ourselves into alignment with the goals that we have set for 2020. I know personally I've set the goal to reach and connect with over 100 women in 2020 and help them open up their channel and start getting spiritual guidance from the angels, guides, and ascended masters within my monthly membership program. But I am aware of that goal. It's very much in the back of my head, but I'm staying connected to who I can still connect with and invite into my circle with the remaining weeks. I think we have about 5 to 6 weeks left in 2019. And I know I'm not alone in wanting to make the most of these next couple of weeks. So I'm going to do a reading. We're just going to kind of see, okay, what comes out. I'm going to just throw down the cards and see what we have. I'm not going to do any kind of formal spread. And this is actually a change that is coming up in the next couple of weeks where my offerings, my readings will not be as structured. It'll be an opportunity for you to schedule a personalized reading and just see what happens, see what comes up. Really interesting. Okay. We're going to see if we can get just one more card to clarify. We got a lot of cards here. I'm going to shuffle. I feel like the card is in here, but not all of these cards. We'll see. Ooh, I don't know why. Sometimes it just happens like that. I'm really excited because in next month's membership or in December's membership, I'm actually teaching women how to use tarot and oracle cards to really get concrete divine guidance. I have a ton of inspiration, motivation, and clarity that comes through from my guides through cards. And I am really, really looking forward to being able to show that, to offer that to other women. Okay, so how do we make the most out of the next couple of weeks? So the kind of main card, I'm going to say the main energy is card number 11, the Ark of the Covenant, which is so interesting because this is the card that's coming out in November, which is the 11th month. And it was the card that I started the month. If you're in my Sisterhood of the Wild Feminine over on Facebook, you know that this was kind of the marking of November's energy. So with the Ark of the Covenant, what you're being asked, what you're being guided to do is to recognize when it's a time for action and when it's a time to sit back and kind of do the unseen work. Whether that be if you are a light worker in an entrepreneurial position where you're running your own business, perhaps it's time to take some energy and focus it on the back end of your business. A lot of legal agreements, making sure all your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed to set you up for that success in 2020. But this, like I said, is really what we're spending those last couple of weeks in 2019. What I'm hearing from my guides, or what's kind of dropping into my heart right now, is that to get these lofty goals accomplished in 2020, you want to kind of make sure all of those details to set you up are coming through. So what I'm hearing is a lot of like rebranding, niche work, making sure that you do that back end, you get that clarity on who it is exactly that you want to serve, work with, and support, as well as take care of the brand. So with branding, I mean, and I'm not a business coach, I'm kind of speaking through my own experience as opposed to expertise. So branding is so much more than logos and fonts and colors. It's really getting down into the values and the backbone of your business. What is going to help it? I almost look at it as like the spine of your business. What is the energy that you're going to move forward to attract those into your circle that align and that want your special kind of light and magic? Okay, so this is a little bit about where you're feeling like, oh, I have these goals to serve X amount of people, like I shared, or I have these goals to put out a certain program, a certain course, do a certain training. You have that goal, but now is the time to make sure that you've paid attention to the details so that you can work towards that goal instead of kind of scrambling. A lot of scrambling energy for 2020. So we want to be aware of that. We want to actually come back. So when you think 2020, I think 2020 vision. So getting that clarity, getting those ideas on paper. For some of you, I feel you are really being called into your purpose. You know that you're here to be a light worker, whether you're being a light worker, opening your own business, being a light worker in the sense that you're showing up every day and offering a little bit more to the company that you work for, or even, you know, when I say even, and I'm about to say I feel like there's a hint of judgment and I don't mean it that way. But even if you are like somebody who doesn't necessarily have a career outside of the home, perhaps you're a stay-at-home mom, what I'm feeling for you is that you are in total recognition that you aren't, and I'm going to put this in quotes, just a stay-at-home mom, that you are very much raising a new age of child, of light worker. And that is very near and dear to your heart, and it's very important. So perhaps what I'm hearing is like transitions into homeschool for some of you maybe. So rather than like, I'm going to start homeschooling on January 1st, I don't know if that's a thing. That's just a thing that kind of dropped in. But rather than saying, I'm going to start working towards this goal on January 1st, we're starting the work right now, getting ourselves set up, getting the platforms in place, getting all of our, it keeps coming, I's dotted, T's crossed. Okay? So some of the energies that are coming through in these cards are kind of, you know, something that's come up quite frequently, which is this energy of being stuck, of being in a self-made prison. And a lot of you are in this mindset of next year is my year. Next year is when I change things. That starts now. It doesn't start in 2020. Just flipping over the calendar is not going to change things. So a lot of you, what I'm picking up on is, you know, card number 16, caught in the ruins. You're in this prison. You actually have multiple ways to get out of it, and that starts right now. Okay, we see this man and this woman sitting in a prison of their own making, we'll say. The card is a castle ruin, but they could climb over this gate. They could, you know, the walls are quite low on this one end. They could pretty easily get unstuck or get out of jail free, if you will, if they are open to it. So for those of you who are feeling really stuck in the 2019 energy, because 2019 has been a year of awakening for many women that I work with and support, many women just kind of found themselves into Sisterhood of the Wild and all of a sudden started having these experiences. So really, one of the ways, we have a clarifier for this card that popped out, caught in the ruins. So how to get out of jail, how to get unstuck, to rise into your power. We have card number 1 in this deck, which is the Oracle of Delphi. She is the psychic energy. She is a powerful connection to source. So really, if you want to start moving now, connect to that intuitive power rather than suppressing your feminine energy. Rise into it. Be the light worker. Embody it in your day-to-day life prior to putting it out into the world for receiving financial gain, receiving recognition of it. This is very much connecting to source, connecting to your light, your guides, your angels, the ascended masters that you want to work intimately with, and allowing them to show you the way. And that is something that is coming through, is this question, please show me the way. Okay, so putting your ego, the prison in this card right now is your ego. Your ego is paralyzing you, is keeping you trapped. open up to soul, open up to source, and you're going to start moving forward. Okay, so what we see is the King of Roses in this next card, which I'm going to interpret to mean, so this masculine romantic energy. A lot of you are working on relationships right now, intimate romantic relationships, whether you're in a marriage that isn't fulfilling you or in a partnership that feels like something is lacking. And this can be a happy and positive relationship. But this card is saying, you know, you're thinking about that, you're aware of that. And so finish 2019 with this opportunity of infusing it with love, light, peace, and who you truly are. This isn't really forecasting anything negative. The King of Roses is looking down at his rose, and he's actually in a field of yellow flowers, but holding a red and white rose. And so right there we see some polarity again of ego and source, passion and purity. And so we're working and navigating those polarities within our relationships. The clarifier here is Archangel Raphael, card number 8. Okay, and so he's the master healer. And so asking him, or calling down your angels and guides, asking for some healing energy within these relationships. For those of you, so I started and I didn't finish. For those of you, it could be a current partnership, a current relationship that you're in that's unfulfilling, or you're feeling like kind of the chemistry, what I'm feeling is like the chemistry has had like water poured on it instead of letting it ignite with that passion. Asking Archangel Raphael, if it's in your high, you know, if you want it, asking him to pour some healing into that, to invoke some passion, to invoke the chemistry back into it. If you're not in a relationship, or you're kind of in this scenario where you have somebody specific in mind and they're not manifesting in the physical, this is a sign that you have some healing to do around that. Also, what I'm getting is opening up to things not working out the way you anticipated them. That doesn't mean the specific individual or the specific timeline isn't at play here, but this is a sign that there is some deep healing to do. And with the King of Roses, what I'm going to guide you to do is get some clarity here. So once again, have ego step out of the way, let soul step in, let source step in, get some clarity on what it is you truly want in a relationship. This has been a big theme in my personal life lately, is just gaining that clarity on what it is you want in a relationship. Is the person that is the person that you have your sights set on or your eyes on, are they going to be able to fulfill those needs and desires right now? We can't speak to forever because everybody is going through their own healing, their own journey, okay? So the way forward is how we're going to move. So we have these two energies. I feel very much like there's this passion for your purpose, but there's a passion to have certain things within 3D, within the physical realm as well, which is where this King of Roses is coming up for me. And so we have the psychic energy, we have the healing. So the next thing is a little bit about setting your course, being very focused on what it is you're manifesting, what it is that you're striving for. So intention, setting an intention every single day, allowing yourself to become a vibrational match to what you're inviting in. If you're constantly setting goals that are, if you want to have a 6-figure spiritual based business, but you have a timeline that is maybe unrealistic or unlikely, scale that goal back, let the timeline be what it is, and work through it that way, so that when it's not achieved by a certain date. And so I use the 6-figure business, but this goes kind of all goals, all intentions, making sure that you're setting yourself up for that success. So if you are able to keep your vibe high and continuously work despite things not happening the way you want them to, then by all means set that big long distance goal and chip away at it. But for many of us, we need these kind of shorter term goals, this shorter term manifestation. And so address it accordingly. Have the big goal, on paper, do the vision boards if that's what you're into, do the journaling if that's what calls to you, or to manifest, or to set those intentions and goals. But remember that within big goals, it's really important to set smaller ones so that you can keep your vibration and your energy and your light high. Because every time, what I found is every time I hit one of those little goals, like, it escalates my energy, my vibe rises, my ability to offer love elevates as well. It becomes much more expansive. It's not as restricted or contracted, because every time I hit a goal, it's almost like that high, and the highs build on one another. If I was only focused on my long-term goal, which is these, I'll say like my long-term goal, 100 women in 2020. If I was only focused on that 100 women, what I personally would find is when I didn't get so if I hammered that out into, I want to reach 100 women, and so I want to get to, I don't even know what 100 divided by 12 is, we'll say 10 women a month. If January comes and I don't get to those 10 women a month, if I don't get into contact with them, I know my personal vibe would feel really defeated, and it would backtrack. And so your vibration grows incrementally. So you be mindful of that. Okay. Really powerful, because what we have in this spread is both the King of Roses, which I talked about, this romantic energy that's coming in. And then right here, to clarify setting your course, we have the Queen of Roses. So this is very much about starting to focus on your life, your dreams, your goals. A lot of guidance that I've been offering lately is to stay focused on your own path, to infuse your personal life with what it is you want to manifest, not be so focused on another person, whether it be a romantic partner, business partner, soul sister, family member, child is what I'm getting. Because sometimes as women, especially when we're mothers, we become very distracted by what our children are doing and what they're going through. And yes, we absolutely should step into the mothering role. I'm by no means saying don't act like a mother, be solely selfish and focused. By all means, mentor, guide, support, but take a look at your own life right now and ask yourself, if this person arrives or doesn't, what kind of life do I want? What do I want my days to look like, to feel like? What goals do I want to have achieved? So really, when I see these two in this spread, and I'm really thinking about all of the card readings that I've done in the past 2 months, between personal readings, the Tarot Tuesday extended readings, and now these as well, these weekly readings. This is another echo to infuse your personal life with love. And when these individuals come around, when they start coming through in the 3D, ensuring that they enhance what you've created rather than just letting them in. It's a boundary. So stepping into this space where you're only letting in, and this doesn't have to be romantic, this can be on any level, it doesn't even have to be a person, it could be a situation. In what way does this enhance the life that I am building for myself? So I've kind of shifted from, when I started my journey, I was so desperate for love, seeking love outside of myself and seeking that person. And now I'm really on this journey, and I've stepped onto this path where it is about the life that I'm building, that every day I wake up to. And I let things in as I see them enhance my life, as opposed to just wanting someone, wanting something, needing to fill a certain void. And so it's a conscious and ever-present part of the process where, it's not like you're slamming doors on people, but you're creating these beautiful, and that is the word that's coming through, beautiful boundaries. Not harsh, not strict, not negative boundaries to prevent people out of them, but you're creating this boundary for yourself to keep building your vibration. So raising your vibration is obviously a thing on this path, but specifically in this reading, it's kind of dropping in through my head. Okay, so it is about setting the course and making your goals and staying present in 2019 for you. Okay, not being so future, having your future plans, but knowing that the day-to-day is what's going to set those up to coming to fruition. Okay, final card is the Two of Forces, which is the Willow Tree. And the way I read this Card 2, of course, is the energy of manifesting. Now, this willow is a powerful tree. You can imagine being this large. It has deep roots. And we can see, like we sense this flowing in the breeze. We also see this river just kind of weaving down, or, you know, weaving down. We have a bird coming. And so this is being very open to the flow of life, to also accessing your inner power. Okay, one of the most powerful things that I've experienced on my journey is the day-to-day presence. And I know I'm kind of hammering that in on this reading, but so often, so many of us, we view these distant goals and we forget that those distant goals are really achieved on the day-to-day. The presence is important. What I've also found is that many of us set these long-term goals and we tirelessly work towards them, never hitting pause to make sure that they align, to make sure that it's in fact what we still want. I always say that despite what the goal is and what it takes to achieve it, if you're not having a good time, if you're not enjoying the process to get there, you will unlikely enjoy the final manifestation of it, the final offering of the goal. So the work to it is just as important as that final result. So be mindful of that. Go with the wind, go with the breeze, tap into the cycles, okay? This is something that's come through in a couple of readings, so I'm going to mention it here. Being cognizant of how you respond to the moon cycle, the seasons, tapping into what it is you're feeling. So during the full moon, I am at my most creative. I create during the full moon. But I know during the new moon, no. The new moon is where I take care of my like less creative tasks. So it's when I sit at the desk and kind of do the organizing. Full moon is when I'm my most expansive, where the sky is the limit. And so I address it accordingly. So tapping into that energy will serve you right now. Maybe asking yourself, what phase of the moon am I personally in? What phase of my energy am I in? And moving forward accordingly. Now, what we have as the clarifier for this, so this flow, this power that's within you that maybe you're not tapping into completely yet. We have, so it showed up in reverse, but I'm going to show it just for headspace. 6 of Scrolls, which is the sand of time. So time is of the essence, right? We have X amount of weeks, 5 to 6 number of weeks before 2020. You have, so that timeline in the big scheme of things, when you think of how typically we have 52 weeks in a year to see, is typically like the length of our goals that many of us set. Time is of the essence, okay? In this card, we see the hourglass. The sand is just kind of dropping down. He is watching it. So I feel, and so this is like a feeling in my body that don't let these weeks go to waste. Don't decide in 2020, I'm going to start exercising every day. Don't decide that in, come January 1st, you're going to enroll in, Angels, Guides, and Ascended Masters. I didn't mean that as a plug. It just kind of popped through. Get going now. Take the step, whatever it is. Like I said, like if you're feeling called, like 2020 is when I'm going to start exercising. Girl, start it today. Start it first thing in the morning tomorrow. Don't waste time. Time is of the essence. Life is short. And I don't mean that to sound ominous, but it's really too short to waste time planning planning to do something in 6 weeks is what's coming through. Own your power. When I see this clarifying this card, I'm hearing like own your power, step into your light right now, embody it, work with it, move with it. Okay? So I do really hope that you enjoyed this week's reading. A lot of different energies. Like I said, there's a lot of scattering that's already starting to take place. We see those first 4 cards with the energy of I have a purpose, but I'm a little distracted because there's something that I want to invite in. There's someone I want in my life. And then really the course, which is so interesting because it is setting your course, moving forward, deciding to dream for yourself, but be present in the actions that you can take today to set yourself up for that. Okay. So all of that scattered energy, which I do feel is coming for 2020. I think a lot of people see like, oh, 2020, that's a big window. It's a big portal. So we're starting to scatter, like we're setting dreams that are really big, which is a beautiful thing, but don't wait is really what I guess I'm trying to express to you. Don't wait to start now. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you would like to send a donation of any amount, if this reading resonated, I am going to drop my PayPal link. As always, you are welcome into Sisterhood of the Wild Feminine. If you're not there already, we have Tarot Tuesdays every Tuesday there for free tarot. I do a question and answers thread on Thursdays where I answer your questions on tarot, oracle, astrology, Akashic records, basically all the spiritual things I talk to you about. I channel my guides. I get intimately connected with your guides in those threads. But I hope to see you over there. I'll drop that link as well. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.